when we went to make the film, I said, you know, I can't sell a trafficking film, but I can sell a guy who's a hero that goes way, way, way beyond anything that anyone would ever ask. And he essentially has to go into someone that would be comparable to Pablo Escobar's backyard and try to find this little girl.
I don't think I can do this job, Tim. As soon as I lay down, all I see are those kids' faces. How long you been doing this? 12 years. How do you do it?
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's gonna pass the drug trade.
Señor Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? Quizá puedas ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana.
Imagine walking into a room right now, seeing an empty bed. What would we do?
We're Homeland Security. You know we can't go off rescuing kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces. This is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
We're talking about extracting an 11-year-old girl from an army of rebels.
Not just her. I'm talking about rescuing hundreds of kids.
She could be a block down the road, or she could be in Moscow, Bangkok, LA.
Over 2 million children a year are being sucked into the deepest recesses of hell. If we do nothing, someday it's gonna reach the likes of you. What if this was your daughter?
Wherever I go, I find my way.
Jim, Tim is a real life hero. I mean, you're playing the part of a real life hero.
I kind of started there with Tim, and when he started to show me all of the hell that they have to look at, you know, it's when I bring this up to people, I'm not for trafficking of children. I want to stop it. And Tim would always tell me, you know, when you're playing this, just remember that, because this hell that you have to look at, most of the guys I bring in, and they've seen the worst stuff that you've ever seen. It's just what they do to children. Children are nothing more than like a cow. It's already past the drug trade, okay? This is like, if you were to watch Schindler's List, you would say, boy, that was terrible. I wish I was around that. Maybe I could have done something. But you can do something now. And we can end this. When your child is taken, you're never gonna see that kid again. And at that point, you probably wished you would have done something. We're at that point right now. And if we let our little ones continue to be slaughtered, boy, there's going to be a judgment on this world, and especially our country.
Tim, you're playing the role of Tim Ballard, and Tim is actually continuing to save kids.
He was supposed to be in the room with me in right here or in Tulsa, but he's down there saving children as we speak, because they're pulling kids out of the darkest recesses of hell right now, in dumbs and all kinds of places. The adrenochroming of children, look, where we're at right now, hopefully we need your prayers. This film is, when Tim Ballard came down to Bogota and we had about finished 2/3 of it, I said, why did you pick me? And he said, well, they didn't want you. They wanted someone else, but I said, well, I got to tell you, I did this movie, Monte Cristo and The Passion, and about 2/3 of the way through, I knew we were onto something that was phenomenal. And I said, I feel that with this film. And he goes, well, actually, it was those 2 films that I saw. That is why I had to have you in my film. So, sorry.
No, Jim, you said a word a minute ago, and I want to clarify what that word was, because you said a word, and I want to make sure that you said adrenochrome.
Yeah.
And a lot of people here, there's about 4,500 people here. There's about 500,000 people streaming online. We're having some cyber attacks. That feed's been going on and off. But you said that word, and by a show of hands, who's heard that word before in this building? Could you please explain, to the extent that you want to or not want to, what that is? Because some people have never heard that before, and we need to discuss that.
Essentially, you have adrenaline in your body. I'll just simplify it. And when you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If you're an athlete, you get in the 4th quarter, you have adrenaline that comes out of you. If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline, and they have a lot of terms that they use that he takes me through. But it's the worst horror I've ever seen, is screaming alone, even if I never, ever saw it. It's beyond, and these people that do it, there'll be no mercy for them. This is one of the best films I've ever done in my life. The film is on a level of Academy Award level. And they didn't. But it was people like you that are out there that hear something in your heart that you know that you have to do something about. Remember in The Passion, at the end of the movie when I watch it, my body's blue. My heart was, I was struck by lightning. I had atrial fibrillation. I had hypothermia and pneumonia in both lungs. I was on every kind of medication you can imagine. And there was a point when the doctors said to Mel, he can die, you know. And I watch it now, I only see Jesus. I only see Tim Ballard, but I see Jesus in him in this film. And at that point where I have tears coming out of my eyes because my heart is so on fire, I'm fearless. You're fearless. You're the best that you will ever be when God is in your heart like that. And when it's burning, you're fearless, and you're not afraid of the devil. You actually hunt him. And any of them that hurt our little children. In the film, there's a line in there where he says, why are you doing this? And I say to him, as Tim said, because God's children are not for sale. They're not for sale. You can't do it anymore, Satan. And we're coming after you. And I'm not afraid, and I'd ask you all not to be afraid either, because they're worth saving.
They're giving you a standing ovation right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.